Alright, so it's been a while since I've done one of these. I apologize for the wait. I didn't intend on going away that long. I really wanted to record videos. The problem is that the snowstorm that happened, we lost power for a couple days. It was a mess. And then at that time, the Steelers had hired people. And so I was like, I'll just wait until they hire most of the important positions on the staff, and then I'll make a full video then. So that's why you didn't get my immediate reactions. So to make up for it, I have a video coming probably tomorrow, if not for sure Saturday. I might have another video coming out on the weekend. We will see. No promises there. But, yeah. Let's just talk about the Steelers hires. So, the Steelers, I already made a video of my initial reaction to them hiring Mike McCarthy to be their brand new head coach. And I wasn't too thrilled. I still don't love the hire now. Of course, I'm going to support him. I'm going to hope he does well. But that doesn't mean I have to love the hire. However, I will say with the hires that the Steelers have continued to make throughout the offseason, it shows the direction that the Steelers want to go in. They obviously want to bring in a lot of guys with experience, guys that know how to coach in this league, and that's what they did. So Mike McCarthy, head coach, as I mentioned before, just yesterday the Steelers announced the newest offensive coordinator to be Brian Angelico. That's how you say his name, I believe. I think. He was with the Vikings last year as their passing game coordinator. I don't believe he has any offensive coordinator experience, so I think this is his first time doing this. He's obviously going to get to work with Metcalf, Freiermuth, the entirety of the offense. And so he can't be any worse than the past few offensive coordinators we've had. I mean, Arthur Smith, I thought he was okay, but I think he had run his course here. He's certainly better than Randy Fichtner or Matt Canada, but I think Arthur Smith had kind of run his course here anyways. So hopefully Brian Angelico, he does well. We will see. On the defensive side, the defensive coordinator, Patrick Graham. He is an interesting guy. He's spent the past few years, he spent 2019 through 2020 with the Dolphins, I think, and then he spent a few years with the Giants. He made the playoffs with them as a coach, defensive coordinator to be exact. And last season, I know this isn't going to sound amazing, but last season, he spent with the Raiders, and of course, the Raiders as a whole were really, really bad last year. But their defense finished, I think, 14th overall. So that's better than, first overall material, I'd say. And in all honesty, his expectations here are going to be really low, as long as he's not dropping defensive tackles back in coverage like Teryl Austin was doing. I think the fan base is going to be okay with him as the DC for the time being. So he has a very nice leash coming into this team. He's going to get to work with TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, Alex Highsmith, Jalen Ramsey potentially, Joey Porter Jr., all those guys. So hopefully he can get the best out of them. Special teams coordinator, Danny Crossman. He has spent the past few years with the Dolphins. And he's a guy that has a lot of experience in this league. 22 years? That sounds right. 22 years of experience, with a majority of them being as a special teams coordinator. So he's a guy that has a lot of experience. He has ties to Mike McCarthy, as does a lot of the coaching staff, but that makes sense. So, yeah, hopefully he can get the best out of this special teams group. I really like guys like Ben Skowronek, even guys like Jeremiah Moon, who don't get a ton of playing time. Miles Killebrew, of course, was hurt last year, but I like him a lot on special teams. And hopefully, one of the things with Danny Smith is that our special teams coverage always excellent. They were always really good. However, one thing that the Steelers have never really had under Danny Smith is a really good punt and kick returner. So hopefully, Danny Crossman can bring that to the special teams room. Now, I'm going to miss Danny Smith, don't get me wrong. I was so dejected to hear that he went to Tampa Bay. I wish him the best of luck, that bubble-chewing son of a gun. But yeah, I'm going to miss Danny Smith, but hopefully Danny Crossman can be a good successor. And moving on, we have the assistant head coach and he's also the secondary coach, Joe Whitt Jr., another guy who has ties to Mike McCarthy. Joe Whitt Jr. in particular, what he's going to be doing, he helps. For those that don't know, the assistant head coach helps make game plans, maybe some leadership stuff, and he works with a specific position group. In this case, the secondary. So hopefully, Joe Whitt does a good job there. Offensive line coach James Campen. Another guy, ties to Mike McCarthy. Can't be much worse than Pat Meyer. Assistant offensive line coach, Jari Evans. Running backs coach, Ramon Chinyoung Sr. Wide receivers coach, Adam Henry. I'm looking at my notes. I apologize. Quarterbacks coach, Tom Arth, who was retained by the Steelers. He was the quarterbacks coach last season. They brought him back this year. Defensive passing game coordinator, Jason Simmons. Inside linebackers coach, Scott McCurley. And I think, in my opinion, the funniest hire, defensive line coach, Damana Pecco, who played for the Bungles for a while. He's been in college the past 3 years as a defensive line coach over there. So hopefully he knows what he's talking about. I would sure hope so. Defensive quality control, Pat Riley. Chief of staff, Steve Sarnecchia. Those are all the hires that the Steelers have made so far. I'm sure there are more to come. But this shows that the Steelers want to go in a veteran-led direction. I don't hate the idea of doing that. I really don't. And it makes the Mike McCarthy hire make more sense. However, this really feels like the Steelers want to run it back with Aaron Rodgers one more time. It really feels that way. Because Aaron Rodgers, he's 42 years old. And Mike McCarthy brought in a lot of his buddies, a lot of Aaron Rodgers' buddies. James Campen in particular, I know Aaron Rodgers really likes him. But it really feels like the Steelers want to run it back with the same group. But I don't think that's going to get them anywhere where they want to go, if you want the truth. But whatever. I mean, at this point, the Steelers, they do whatever they want. I don't know what to think, man. The Steelers right now, they obviously want to go in a veteran-led direction, and it shows with their moves in free agency, the hires that they're making, and they've kind of been doing that for a while now. But I digress. Thanks for watching. I will try to have a video out Friday, if not Saturday, so don't die.